excited to be here because I have a 9-month-old daughter and I'm out of the house. Yeah! I've got pants on. Okay, did that really happen? Good. I've got makeup on my face. There is no one in this room who's allowed to bite me on the boob, so it's all good. You're not allowed. I would find that incredibly rude. But the strange thing about having a bub, we weren't intending on having children until I decided that we would. He's a nice man and he knows what is good for him. And so we decided to have little Rory. Little's a strong term. She was born 4.7 kilos. Yeah, thank you. All the mums just went, oh, darling. Actually, I should ask. I'm rude of me not to ask. If you're a mum, give me a yeah. If you're a woman but not a mum, give me a yeah. Can you hear the difference? There were so fewer of them who don't have children, but they went, yeah! All the mums went, And a quick question for the mums. My brain, is it coming back? Wow. I know none of the men said anything to that. You're like, that's a loaded question if I ever heard one. It's what's happening? My brain's doubling up. What does that even mean? Am I going to get doubly as smart? That is terrifying. I'm yet again going to have opinions on stuff. Because right now, I work for the ABC. I have thoughts. I often share them on the wireless. Hello, that's still happening. But since Rory, I have found myself having conversations about the weather that I'm quite fascinated by. I tend to finish stuff, like people would be talking to me about intelligent things and I just kind of go, oh, I like cats. If there's ever a break in the conversation, I just show them a photo of Rory. Complete strangers, I will do that too. I'll be at the 7-Eleven buying a lemonade because I'm hardcore and I don't know how to party. And the guy will be counting my change and I'll go I just can't help it. But since when I was pregnant with her, I was massively pregnant and people would pat my belly as if I was a happy little Buddha. I am not that person. I have never been that person. But people would pat, and by the end of it, when a guy would pat my belly, he'd pat my belly and I'd go, oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, it's a bit challenging, isn't it? Bit threatening on the old personal space tiger, isn't it? Hanging a bit low there, mate. Probably a boy. And then since she's been born, people feel the need to give us advice on her. And because my husband, for those of you who don't know me, my husband's Stav from B105. So when we're walking, people will recognise him and feel that means it's okay to touch our child. It's not, in case you're wondering. It's really not. But he has to be nice to them. So they'll come up and they'll look at it and she'll be crying because they're random humans poking her. And she'll cry and they'll go, oh, maybe she's hungry. And I go, do they need food, do they? Just been feeding her cigarettes and whiskey mostly. I didn't know about the food thing, that's weird. But I did mention I work for the ABC. Does anyone listen to the ABC? Yay! It's so nice to be in a room where you go, yay. I've done a couple of rooms lately in some of the outer suburbs where I've gone, do you listen to the ABC? And people have gone, which I think means no. I'm not sure. But I must admit, I'm a bit of a stirrer. I can't help it. And we often get people who call in, and as you should, it's your broadcaster, go nuts. But people call in, and one old lady kept calling up and going, excuse me, because if you're very old, you whistle. I'm not sure what that's about. But excuse me, you never give the temperature for Caboolture. I thought about it, that you're quite right, ma'am, we don't. Good point, well made. But she would call on a daily basis, because I'm not sure she remembered she'd called the day before, bless her. And each day I would again explain that we don't give the weather in Caboolture because there's no weather vane in that spot. So we do give it, though, for Redcliffe and sort of around, areas around it, so perhaps she could average it. And every time I would do that, she'd go, "Don't be cheeky!" Quite right. So I was filling in one day at about 4 a.m, and she kept calling up saying interview. And eventually I just thought, look, it is your broadcaster, it's your ABC, it's your 8 cents, so I'm going to give it one for her. So I said, you're listening to Cat Davidson, ABC, local radio, Queensland. It's 5 degrees in Logan, 7 in Ipswich. It's 4 degrees in Redcliffe and 6 on both the Golden Sunshine Coast. In Caboolture right now, it's 47 degrees. She took 5 minutes to call. She's going, "It's not 47 degrees. And I said, "See, you didn't need me. You knew that." But it was one of my jobs during the floods in 2011 when I was one of the emergency broadcasters. So it was my job to give the river heights and the weather and all that sort of stuff. And occasionally I just wanted to save Queensland some time, because it could seriously take 20 minutes to read all of them. And occasionally I just wanted to get honest, save some time, turn the mic up and go, "If you're near a river, I'd bugger off." Just don't take the chance, Queensland. Just head for higher ground, that's my call. But I got to speak to one awesome dude. In fact, I got to speak to many, but there was one guy who called up. His name was John. He was in Dalby. Dalby, it's pronounced, Dalby. And he said, "Yeah, g'day, my name's John, I'm in Dalby." I said, "John, are you on the banks of the Condamine?" He said, "Well, we weren't." Turns out we are now. Hence the phone call, sweetheart. Fair call. I said, "Johnny, are you going to be all right?" Because I knew the banks was climbing. And he said, "Yeah, look, I think we're going to be all right. We're in the caravan park." And I said, "You're in a caravan? You could drive out." And he went, "What?" I said, "You're in a caravan, you could drive." And he went, "Yeah." And I could tell from the hesitance. I reckon he'd been living in it for longer than 10 years and had forgotten it was on wheels. Like, I reckon he kicked the corrugated iron off the wheel well and went, "Good God, Barry! We could have left this place 10 years ago. Look at that!" You guys are here for an excellent cause. It's going to be an awesome night. I'm Cat Davidson. Enjoy your night.